Hello everyone, here I am today talking about the id, ego, and superego. Going back to kind of the Freudian model of the mind, and really how this is useful to us today, how we can use it today, and where it has flaws and how we can improve upon it basically. So, the id, ego, and superego, everybody who's taken, Psych 202 or Psych 101, all that kind of stuff, knows the basics of this idea, as Freud was a founder of a lot of modern psychology. People have their problems with Freud, but a lot of people really still like this model. And in this model, you define it kind of this way. The id is this baser kind of being that is all about gimme, 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 instant gratification, all that kind of stuff. So it very much wants what it wants all the time, and it's thought of like the baby that's just crying like, wah, give me the bottle, wah, give me attention, wah, do this for me, change my diaper, all that kind of stuff. The id just is ready to cry out and say, I want what I want. It's all about me. It's all just parties and fun. It's all just everything about me, 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 me. And that's the basic idea of the id. On the other hand, there's the opposite side where you have the superego, which is very much programmed by your society. It's very much about rules. It's very much about like helping others. It's very much about like not me, me, me. It's more like your duty, what you have to do, that kind of stuff. And the idea of Freud's model is the ego is kind of this mediator in the middle that kind of tries to, it's like who you are, ego meaning I there. And that really being like kind of just the culmination of this id and superego. Now, the term ego in like recent psychology and mostly just modern culture, not so much psychology, but modern culture has really gone against this term ego and is kind of saying it's not just like who you are, it's this more kind of, it's more id-like these days, with the idea of it being a self-centered creature that only wants to preserve its own stuff and build itself up at the cost of putting others down, all that kind of narcissistic tendency has kind of been attributed to this ego kind of idea. But in the Freudian model, that's not really how the ego is looked upon. So just think of the ego more as the mediator. Kind of, we can really take him out of the equation a little bit in this Freudian model, because he's kind of who you are, and he's really the culmination of these two guys, the id and the superego. So, of the id and the superego, who's your friend, who's not your friend, who's going to get you in trouble, who's not going to get you in trouble? The answer, they both are, okay? Both of them have their bad qualities, both of them have their good qualities, and the important part is being able for them to work together. Now, they're very oppositional, because a lot of times the id is just like, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. And he doesn't care about productivity, he doesn't care about legacy, he doesn't care about accomplishments, he doesn't care about doing his work or fulfilling needs to others. He's just like, I want to have fun, I want to have fun, I want to have fun right now, not in the future, not as a reward, I just want to have fun. So some people are too much on the id side. They don't, these are the kind of people who don't plan for things. They're just like party all the time. They get themselves in trouble by not really thinking about things enough. They're kind of just not really using a lot of input of their brain. They're kind of just a baser creature of saying, gimme, 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 gimme. Now, this also doesn't work well for their subconscious mind, because when you say, gimme, 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 then you're kind of getting this, you're building up your pathways of the subconscious mind to ask the same of you, to say, gimme, 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 from the superego in response. Now, I could explain some of that a little bit more in depth about the gimme, 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 because I did some Wayne Dyer videos on the nature of that. Also about the golden rule, how you treat others is how your subconscious mind is going to treat you. So if you're really nice to others, it will give you a bunch of love and good ideas. If you're really mean to others, it will just take away all your good ideas and will be really mean to you. But that's not really the point here. Back to the model here. So that's the id. The people who are too strong there are just always trying to party, always trying to have fun, all that kind of stuff, and they're just not really focused enough on actually living their life. They tend to be what you might call too lazy and that kind of stuff, but they have genuine fun. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you have people who are too strong in the superego side. The superego has this worst guy called guilt, okay? Guilt, as we know from my guilt videos, is a horrible force that really can ruin your life, and it's absolutely awful. Guilt will just drag you down to hell. It'll beat you down. It'll set you on fire. It'll shoot you in the kneecaps, whatever, okay? Guilt will do it to you because it makes you feel so bad about the past that you really can't live a better future. Now, the superego will use guilt as a force because the superego really has more tapping into like societal norms and societal ideas. So really the superego will have a sense of duty. It also goes to perfectionism. Your superego is naturally going to want you to do things perfectly. It's going to want you to do them perfectly all the time, and it's going to demand this standard of perfection that you'll never be able to reach. It will want you to work all the time. People who are workaholics often have an over like indulgent this superego that is like overly active, basically, that's always hitting them. And that's kind of the problem there. So then, in that world where the superego will beat you up by making you work too hard and making you not have any fun and will always just be work, 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 and the is just like party all the time and you can never accomplish anything, where can these two come together? Well, the idea of melding these two together is really the right idea, because you really want this balance, okay? You want fun and you want energy because that gives you a lot of purpose in your life. When you go to a fun party, it's fun, but it doesn't make sense to just party all the time because then you're not actually accomplishing anything. So really, purpose is the best force for melding these two together. When you have a life purpose, you can enjoy the fun along the way and make, events fun in all these different situations. The id is very happy when you can make things fun. If things are always fun, the id can always be happy. If you're fulfilling a purpose, a higher thing than just yourself, if you're really trying to help people, you're trying to achieve a big goal, you're going after desire and you believe you can do it, then the superego is also happy. So when you really use the Think and Grow Rich kind of formula, or as I would say, desire and belief really being the big factors. I know that in Think and Grow Rich, the ideas are desire and faith, but by faith, he basically means belief by our kind of modern standard. Anyway, so when you combine your desire and your belief together, your superego can be happy with that because he's like, you're accomplishing something. Now, look out for perfectionism, look out for guilt particularly. If you haven't seen my videos on how to get rid of guilt, definitely watch those because you want to get rid of guilt. Anyway, after you get rid of guilt and start dealing with perfectionism, because I find that to be a tougher kind of guy to beat, you'll realize the problems of the superego and you can actually scrape some of those away. And id-wise, naturally, you can just have, if you're having a problem of partying too much, of using, of just overly indulging. When you find more purpose in your life and you really have a desire and you go after it with your belief, that kind of thing, then that really also can affect that as well, to really get you off of a path of overindulgence and onto a path of better things. Now, if I were to pick one that a lot more people have more trouble with than the other one, I would say most people are not naturally lazy. I would say the biggest problem tends to be the superego. Now, I've met people who have had problems with the id, who are just overly indulgent, overly just party all the time kind of people. But I don't really see that as much as all the people who are so worried about the future, so feeling guilty, feeling bad, feeling all these kind of things, feeling like they have to do things perfectly. Perfection is a little bit... I think that our culture naturally kind of frowns on laziness, so people naturally kind of are inclined away from laziness, but I think it really promotes culture, this kind of culture of guilt and perfectionism. So I think that's a huge problem, that we demand too much from other people to be perfect. Oh, you're not doing it the perfect way I think you should be doing it. That's really a lot of the superego's problem. So I would say the superego is generally a bigger problem, and in my life, I particularly had a bigger problem with the superego than the id, just because I've always been hardworking to the degree that it's been overly... It's been more of a problem to overwork than to underwork in most of my circumstances. But anyway, that's the basic model of the id, the ego, and the superego. So really, you want to balance the id and the superego, make them work together, and really using desire and belief can really get you there. That's about it for this video, guys. I will see you guys next time with the next video. Stay tuned. Talk to me about this kind of stuff. I'll see you then.